Turkey, where history meets mystery. A virtual tour with Jim Willis and Dr. Mickey Pistorius. Part 7. Çatalhöyük. Climate change then and now. 8,000 years ago, the world was hit with a climate catastrophe. The weather changed abruptly. Exactly what happened is anyone's guess, but the trigger is called the 8.2 kiloyear event, named after the fact that it happened 8,200 years ago. One plausible explanation is that a huge meltwater pulse occurred when the Laurentide ice sheet in North America, having already played a huge part in terms of changing global weather patterns at the end of the Younger Dryas, finally collapsed. Two immense glacial lakes located along the Canadian-United States border suddenly drained into the North Atlantic, releasing the equivalent of almost 50 Amazon rivers worth of fresh water, while disrupting the natural flow of the currents. Today, we call it climate change. These days, the dusty, sun-baked ruins of Çatalhöyük in central Turkey don't receive a lot of attention except from tourists and archaeologists. But 8,000 years ago, it was a busy, bustling Neolithic metropolis of some 10,000 people. Mass spectrometry, a technique familiar to anyone who is a fan of television's NCIS series and its forensic analyst Abby Sciuto, shows that livestock were severely affected by the drought. The human population followed suit. Large, communal, city-like dwellings began to give way to smaller, individual family homes. Morgan Freeman visited there in the 2016 National Geographic Channel's TV series called The Story of God, in search of the world's first religion. He found symbols portraying fertility, life, and death. It appears as if an important spiritual cult existed there for a very long time. The many painted vultures of Çatalhöyük indicate the presence of a kind of bird cult. Now, the image of birds escorting human beings up into the afterlife is called psychopomp. Sometimes the birds are portrayed as swans or storks. This is the basis of the operatic swan song, sung before the hero makes his or her way to Valhalla. It is repeated by modern parents as well, when their answer to a child's question, "Where did I come from?" is often, "The stork brought you." The constellation Cygnus the Swan is reproduced time and again by cultures around the world, signifying a bird cult associated with the path of the soul from earth into the heavens. The road to the stars leads through the great northern rift in the Milky Way. Çatalhöyük seems to be a city founded for various religious reasons that probably held the society together until its sinews began to stretch and collapse over time. Now, was this collapse the reason nearby Göbekli Tepe was deliberately buried? Did the Anatolian religion that grew out of the ashes of a catastrophic global event no longer adequately serve its people? If so, it might well have been the first time a religion died from lack of relevance in a changing world. Another intriguing aspect is this. The skin color of some of the figures painted on the walls is black, but others are almost white. Some of those who have black skin appear to be wearing leopard pelts. Now, Africa is a long way from Çatalhöyük. What could this possibly mean? The one lesson we can learn with a degree of confidence is that climate change played an important role in Çatalhöyük's history. Today we face a similar situation. Glaciers in Greenland, Alaska, the Arctic region, and Antarctica are melting. And we may disagree as to the cause of the phenomenon, but people from Miami to Mumbai and other low-lying cities are already feeling the results. What's going to happen when the world's coastal cities drown? No one knows. But it's happening. And a climate change of this magnitude calls for immediate action. The effects will be catastrophic if we don't prepare in advance. First, however, we have to admit the change is coming. That's why Çatalhöyük is so important. If we study the evidence there, we may yet learn a lesson from our lost ancestors of ancient Turkey, where history meets mystery.